Welcome back, Dodecadorks. We're the 12-sided guys. We have Scott as Ornan.
At your service.
Sabrina as Sylvie.
Oh, hello.
Jordan as Magram.
You're most welcome.
Matt as Guy.
That is my name. Don't wear it out.
And me, Paul, as the ghostly phantom guy from the song Thriller. Boo, spooky. If you want some this is so bad, guys. I need music in the background. I don't have any music, so I'm just going to go for it. If you want some bonus con, then go check our Patreon. Your neighbor's potatoes is very good. Go to our shop. You really should. Wear Dodeca drip all over town. And leave a review. Thumbs up, not down.
Nailed it.
And to your friends, make sure to tell that 12-Sided Guys is really swell. Anyway, if you tell everyone that you ain't afraid of no ghosts, but that's a lie, and you actually are, especially when combined with goblins, don't worry, me too. And this podcast is for you. It's Chorus of the Forsaken, episode 39.
Paul, you've been on a Ghosts and Goblins kick. We did Demon Crest not too long ago, which is from that, and then you've done Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts and Goblins before. Is it ever enough, though?
But this was Ghosts and Goblins because of the spooky basement in the bottom of the bandit fortress. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Welcome back to Via Severia and the bandit fortress outside of the city of Martin's Rest. Last time we were together, our party, which had split into 3 different groups, all reconvened in Guy's turtle shell and decided that they were going to take the bandit fortress, but no death. They did not want anyone to die.
Fighting wieners is real hard when you can't kill them.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were just beating all the wieners.
Oh, yeah.
A plan was hatched, and the party infiltrated the bandit fortress, first taking out one of the wieners on the ramparts, dragging her down off of the rampart and leaving her in the woods to die of exposure.
To live. If Ornan asks, it was to live.
Then they sneaked into the ground floor and heard that somebody was sleeping in one of the rooms. They managed to use some rope to tie the door, the ring of the door, to all of the other doors so that the person would be trapped inside of the bedroom. And then they sneaked upstairs to the second floor, where originally we had seen 2 kind of beefy folk eating a meal. Now only one was left, and she was pacing back and forth. As her back was turned, everyone rushed in to take her out, and she was knocked unconscious relatively quickly. And as you were all trying to figure out what to do in this room, suddenly the 2 scouts who had been up on one of the towers at the gatehouse came in looking for their meal, and more battle ensued.
One could say they bit off more than they could chew.
Whoa.
As more folk were alerted to your presence, battle ensued throughout the fortress, and wieners were knocked unconscious left and right. After all was said and done, there were 2 of the bandits that were still alert, but they had both given up. One of them was one of these scouts from the tower who had given up right away and was in the dining room with her head in her hands crying, and the other was a bandit who was trying to get out the front gate but managed to get pincered between Annalise and Guy. And that is where we are right now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 unconscious bandits, 2 who have given up. 1 is locked in the first floor being guarded by Pranciful, and then 1 more unconscious one is left out in the woods. And what are you guys going to do? Night has fallen, and the rain continues to pound down upon this fortress.
Guy and Annalise over here with this one who's just surrendered. Guy's going to, with the fan as a threat, say, "All right, let's make our way back into the keep, and we'll walk. I'll lead this guy back into the keep to get him all tied up and squared away."
Okay. As you guys are back here in kind of the courtyard, first off, it is pouring down rain, and the ground is all muddy and gross. You lead him back into the courtyard. There is still Spooky Lady is in the dining area with Sylvie and this other conscious bandit who had given up.
We're having some girls' time.
Nice.
Neldor is pacing around with a large smile on his face. He's going around giving predator handshakes to anyone who will take one.
Fist bumps and high fives.
He's like, yes.
Is that what a predator handshake is? Fist bumps and high fives like frat boys do?
No, predator handshake is like you handshake into the position like you're going to arm wrestle.
And you flex your biceps as big as you can.
Yes,
I got that. I more was just saying because they're predators.
Wait, I thought it was you grab the other person's forearm.
Yeah, I thought it was the forearm one.
No, that's the generic fantasy handshake, which is just grabbing the forearms. Predator handshake is you go in, you say, "You son of a bitch," and you grow into an arm wrestling pose.
Yes,
with your biceps just rippling.
Yeah, your biceps have to be oiled up. Yes. All right. Neldor he's just walking around saying a decisive victory, and he's just really thrilled with how things went.
Well, we don't want to lose it now. Come on, let's get them tied up. All of them, even the unconscious ones. We're gonna have to wait the night here. It's too dark to travel back now.
Yes, you're right.
Guess we gotta check out that basement.
Yeah, we found a note saying it might be haunted.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
I've even got some Scooby snacks.
Like zoinks, man.
Raggy?
That was so good.
That was
oh my
really
God.
good.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you guys are tying up all of these unconscious people. Are you going to leave them out here in the courtyard? Are you going to drag them inside the building,
No,
or what?
we're
It's
gonna let 'em
raining
catch
pretty
a
hard.
cold.
Or yeah.
I'm not a monster.
Hey, Ornan, we should probably go get that one that we left out in the woods.
All right, I'll go and get her. Be back in just a moment.
All right. Ornan, you go out to grab the one out in the woods. I'm going to bring her up so we have a true count. As you bring her back in, Neldor is kind of like helping to organize, and he says, "I think I know probably the safest and easiest place to guard all of these captives." And he goes into one of the guard towers. He says, on the ground floor of the guard tower, you can't access the guard tower from the ground floor. You can only access it here from the second floor. And it has one way in. So we should be able to put them down there. And then we shouldn't need more than a couple of us awake to guard the entrance throughout the night. They won't be able to rush us.
Well, that sounds like a good idea.
We can toss them down some of these beautiful leeks here too that I see on this table. That way they can have something to chew on.
There are some leeks, and there might be a couple of potatoes as well.
Potatoes?
Mr. Neldor, I'm impressed. You didn't kill anybody this time.
I am a man of my word, and I did everything I could to keep them alive. This way, also, we can have them stand trial, and hopefully get more information on where the rest of their allies and associates might be.
Well, I have an inkling, and this could be wrong, but maybe their leader was hiding down there, in that basement that we found.
Yeah, I was thinking she might be hiding something down there. Spread a rumor that there's a ghost and that it's haunted, and so nobody goes down there to see. Her journal is just laid out on a desk that shows all of her evil planning and where all of the goods are being stored and everything.
Yeah, that's a clever idea.
Remember last time we went to the basement of a girl, Guy? It did not turn out well.
I was hoping for some confessions of love.
But the time before that, though, it also didn't turn out great either.
It also didn't turn out great.
Are you guys saying that like I have a certain pattern I follow?
I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't check out this basement. I'm just saying it might not turn out great.
Do we want to go get the last one who's tied up in the other rooms? Bring him with the rest of them?
I mean, we probably ought to.
Yeah, I kind of assumed we would just grab everybody and bring them to the fort.
And maybe Annalise and Neldor could keep an eye on them while they're knocked out, and the four of us could go and explore the basement.
Ooh, it sounds like a spooky good time.
Annalise nods. She says that works for me. Although if it is haunted, you may need my powers.
I think I've got this.
Also, I seem to be on pretty good terms with ghosts, so I should probably be fine.
Did you see my fireball?
That was a pretty cool fireball.
I did. Well, actually, no, I don't think any of us saw it.
Also, I just want to shout out to Chicken Too Tasty. That comment number 7 has been my favorite. I send it to everybody. Find somebody who looks at you the way Sabrina talks about Fireball, like that. I sent it to all of my friends. They loved it.
Oh gosh, that's great. That's so good.
I didn't actually see the fireball. There was a big wispy, vapory blackness in front of me.
Yeah, honestly, can we even be sure there was a fireball? I mean, come on, Sylvie.
It might have been Gee's magic that
It
did
was
them all in.
probably just me. I'm probably the one who should feel guilty in having all those deaths on my conscience.
Yeah, as Ornan is standing there having been so close that he has no more eyebrows.
And they were pretty bushy yesterday.
You know, it's a good look for you, Ornan. It's a good look.
Yes. No eyebrows is a good look for everybody.
I figured there'll be stubble tomorrow.
Everyone should try it at some point in their lives. Just shave off your eyebrows.
I did, or at least plucked them to that point in about 2010. So I've been there.
Oh man, gosh.
Yeah, I remember the pencil thin lined eyebrows were a big thing for a while there.
Okay. So you guys venture down back to the first floor to try to get this last bandit out of the bedroom. Pranciful is right at the door, just staring at the door.
No, he's hanging on the rope.
Oh, that's right. He's hanging on the rope. He is hanging on the rope that has tied all these doors together. Yeah, he's yeah. All right. So you guys are going to try to get this bandit out of the bedroom. Who's down there?
I mean, I'd go down.
If someone needs to wrestle him, I can do a quick wrestle and get them all tied up.
I was just about to comment that this sounds like our After Dark Adults Only episode. Bandits in the bedroom, and then Ornan's like, "I'll go wrestle them."
That's so good. All right, so Magram and Ornan, you guys go down onto the first floor. As you approach the door, you can see that Pranciful is still down there, and again, yes, is hanging on the rope. Right outside the door. And what are you guys going to do? You still don't hear any noise coming from the bedroom except for just this barest hint of snoring.
I'll try to very quietly untie that door, the rope from the door so that we can get in. If we approach very quietly and all have weapons drawn, he'll have no choice but to surrender.
I think that's probably a good idea. Let's give it a shot.
Guy, why don't you make a sleight of hand check to untie this rope quietly? You can do it with advantage.
All right, that's a nat 20 for a 22.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You are silent. You have the rope now kind of looped around your shoulder, kind of like a bandolier, and the door is untied.
What do you guys think of the rope around like a bandolier? Is this a good look for me?
I mean, it's pretty cool, I think.
Well, I especially like it because Pranciful's still dangling from it.
Pranciful's hanging right. He keeps bumping into your butt as you're kind of like looking. What do you think?
I'll pick up Pranciful and I'll kind of put him in the front here in like in the rope as like a little baby Bjorn.
Baby Bjorn. Oh, sweet.
Oh.
Sweet little Pranciful. He looks incredibly happy to be there.
I think you need a hat where Pranciful could sit in. Something on top of your head.
Like a sombrero?
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to talk with the blacksmith and have him fashion some Master Blaster armor.
Okay. Well, all right. Master Blaster, eh?
Master Blaster from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
We've gone over this before in this podcast.
Jeez.
You can't convince me that Master Blaster is anything else.
Sorry.
All right. As you guys open the door, you can see that there is this large figure rolled up on this cot, covered up with a blanket and snoring away. You see that kind of in the corner, there is a greatsword leaned up against the wall.
I'll just go claim the greatsword now. It's mine.
Okay, there you go. You have a greatsword. And you wake this person up. He seems incredibly groggy as he doesn't know where he's at. And before he can even react to even start looking for his sword, you have ropes around him and he is tied up nice and tight. You manage to get him out of the bedroom and march him down the hall. And he starts to kind of realize what's going on, saying, wait, what's going on? Wait, who are you guys?
Oh, my name's Ornan.
We're your worst nightmare, you wiener.
Yeah, that'll show him.
Good one.
Yes.
Ah, you are the wiener.
He just seems so befuddled as you walk him kind of down across the parapet, and you send him down into the basement of this northern tower. As you look inside this tower that is one of the gatehouse towers, you can see that the center of the tower was wood at one point, and it looks like the original wood has long since rotted away, but they have placed more beams across it. There's also this very crude ladder that goes down into the basement, and you've placed all of these folks down in this pit and pulled up the crude ladder. So now you have 3 conscious bandits and 5 unconscious bandits all in this pit. Neldor and Annalise are kind of standing by the hole where the ladder was, and Neldor says, "I think we can guard them for the night. If you all decide you want to go into the basement, just be careful."
Guy will kind of say down into the pit. He'll say, "Get comfortable, get some rest. We're leaving tomorrow morning."
Here's a few leaks.
As you pee on them.
No, I was just going to toss down some leaves.
You throw down some veggies for them to snack on. There's literally 5 people just sprawled out.
Dude, I love, Sabrina, that right now you're like, who would even think of peeing on somebody else in this? Weren't you the one who had Nari straight up pee in somebody's eyes?
Timothy, you Sarah's dick. I forgot about that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, awesome. It looks like you have all the bandits squared away. Neldor and Annalise have decided that they will stay to guard them for the night. Once you guys are done in the basement, though, they will want to switch out so they can get some rest as well.
Oh, of course. Before we head to the basement, Ornan, can I stick something in your backpack?
Sure, plenty of space in there. What have you got?
Well, come with me. I found Corwin's chest that was taken from him by these bandits.
Oh.
I wanted to make sure that we at least grab that. I imagine we'll try to bring back as much as we can with us, but I wanted to just make sure this one was squared away so that I can get it back to him.
Sure, of course.
Aw, he'll really appreciate that, Guy.
Yeah, I'm a thoughtful person.
All right. Yeah, fantastic. It's easy enough. It's. I think I described it last time as being about gift basket size, you slide it into this Ornan's backpack, and now you have a chest with the brand of CF on it.
The backpack is now about gift basket sized bigger.
Amazing.
Okay, you guys meet up right outside in the courtyard. If you're looking straight down, the gatehouse is on the west side, and it has these 2 towers, and then there are these ramparts that go run from the west to the east to the keep, and the keep is a little bit bigger than the gatehouse. But again, this is a relatively small fortress. But if you don't speak ancient castle, rampart is a wall that you can walk on. Yes, the staircase.
The patriotic for the ramparts regular. You're welcome.
Nailed it.
Just call me Northwest.
Oh my gosh. Well, the staircase that goes up to the keep, because the keep is entered on this second floor, on the north side of the staircase, there is a doorway that has stairs that go down into the earth. And that is the entrance to the basement.
I'm going to leave Prancival with Neldor and Annalise. Okay. I'm going to bring Spooky Lady because maybe she can parlay with the ghosts down here on our behalf.
As you guys head down the stairs, it goes down under the earth, and you it kind of corkscrews around clockwise.
Yeah, it does.
It corkscrews in a clockwise pattern.
Are we ducks?
Jeez.
While we're doing this, I'm going to pull out one of my flares and get that kind of struck and lit up.
Oh, so you can see?
Yeah, it's a 20-foot radius.
Perfect. Let's have you emit light.
Cool.
It spirals down clockwise, and you figure you've gone around twice before you come out into this room. It is hard to tell how big this room is at first. There are columns that are about 10 feet apart that run the length of the room from east to west. You kind of come down on the east side of this room. Some of you have night vision, so you can see a little bit better in here, but the room looks to be probably about 60 feet long and maybe about 40 feet wide. But as you are standing here at the bottom of the staircase, you can see at the far end, for anyone who can see, you see that there is a doorway, this arch doorway, and there are these crates that are stacked up in front of this archway, kind of sealing it off, blocking it off. It's not quite totally sealed, so you can kind of see through it a little bit. And why don't you guys make perception checks?
Markham got an 11.
Ornan got a 15.
Sylvie got a 14.
That's my second nat 20 for a 24.
Oh, man. Showing off.
Ornan and Guy, you guys can both, it helps because you guys have the night vision, but you can see that behind the boxes in this archway, it looks like there are some stakes or some kind of maybe spikes have been set up pointing away. It looks like there might be a hallway on the other side of this arch, and there are some spikes that have been set up defensively for anything that is coming from the hallway towards you, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Here's something else that we're going to do now. This is now uncharted territory. You guys have to tell me what you are going to do and what kind of checks you're going to make and all that kind of stuff, and I will just describe the room and you can tell me what you want to do.
Oh, man. This has Meegan written all over it.
I'll explain to everybody in here. It looks like there are some defenses on the other side of these crates, some stakes. I don't know if you can see them from here, but I don't know that haunted, maybe, but I don't think we'll be dealing with ghosts, because these defenses wouldn't stop her just from coming through the wall.
You know what's really good against some wooden stakes, guys?
Mashed potatoes?
Fireball.
I was gonna say smoked salmon. You smoke those on planks of wood.
Oh, that's clever.
Nah. It's fireball. It's always been fireball.
Fireball.
Paul, I'm noticing that the specter, the spooky lady's wandering all over the room. Is that actually happening?
Yep. The spooky lady just starts to kind of fly around and flit about all throughout this room.
Oh, is she communing?
Can I do kind of move a little bit into the room, maybe 10, 15 feet, and then make kind of an insight check to figure out what this room looks like? Is it like an antechamber, a storage room?
Okay, yeah. Insight check.
22.
Yeah, it looks like this is actually some sort of an antechamber. Yes, antechamber would be the best way to put it. It almost looks, the columns are strong and sturdy. They are still standing the test of time. This room looks very old, like the fortress above, but this antechamber, this space down here has not been out in the weather like the fortress above has been, so it has managed to survive a little bit better. I'd say with your 22 insight also, you gather that the crates and the stakes, if it's really haunted, that seems silly.
Well, should I move the crates aside? Or do you think something will happen?
Maybe we check out what's inside of these crates.
she seems kind of agitated. I'm going to step forward. I'm going to hold my book, and I'm going to try to write a message while I also speak out loud to her so everybody can kind of participate. I'm going to say, is everything all right? Are you feeling something here?
Are you communing with your brethren?
How many hit points does this specter have left?
She has 9 hit points left.
9 hit points left. You know what? As you are looking at this specter, her form is less substantial. You see that the kind of glitching of her face is happening more and more often. You get the impression that if she was not really here when she was first summoned, she is drifting and she is dispersing. And you get this look every once in a while of concentration on her face that almost like she is willing herself to stay. Because everything is trying to tell her body to disperse.
But no, like, she doesn't reach out and scrawl a message or anything. It's all just like she's so focused on staying here in this existence.
As you were watching her, you realize that while it's very difficult, incredibly difficult, it looks like for her to stay in this existence, it must always be difficult. That must be one of the reasons why she can't seem to focus. But it seems extra difficult at this point. And with whatever connection you have to her, you imagine it's because literally she is drained of whatever energy she had to be here. That doesn't mean she's going to disappear until a long rest, but she only has 9 hit points left and you cannot heal her.
Right. So it's like, it looks like she's about a third present compared to what she was earlier.
Is there anything that she seems to be focusing on in the room, or like coming back to, circling, like anything like that?
Make an insight check, Sylvie. Relatively easy.
Insight. Oh, hell yeah, nat 20.
A nat 20, you notice that she keeps circling around Guy and the staircase back up. With your nat 20, I will say this. As you think about it, you notice that she seemed to be drawn to Pranciful as well.
Okay. So it seems like she just kind of wants to be around Guy and be in safety. It doesn't seem like she's really reacting to necessarily anything down here.
No.
Ornan is going to go and crack open one of the boxes.
Okay. Inside you find like some dry goods. So like some oats or something. Maybe a bag of flour is in there. It looks like just some dry goods and some food has been used to stack up in and block off this archway.
Okay. Is the other box the same? Ornan will open the next one?
It's gonna be more dry goods and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well, should we move them aside?
Let's head in. That's why we're down here.
Alrighty.
So you're going to move these boxes?
I think we should make a general we made a general perception, like, of traps and anything.
So at this point, we know that, like, the traps are silly. Like, this is silly for supernatural. Although, unless it's skeletons or zombies, because this would definitely work against undead that are physical.
Well, yes, but we are also physical and not undead, so I'm more worried about the traps that would focus on us.
All right, Bloodhound, why don't you check it for traps? Sure.
All right.
Okay, why don't you do an investigation check?
All right, the Bloodhound is on it, and I sniffed out a 23.
Oh, hell yeah.
The Bloodhound caught the trail.
The Bloodhound definitely caught something. As you are looking around at these boxes...
Gonorrhea.
You, with your 23, you see something... You almost miss it, and then the light from Magram's flare catches it just a little bit, and there's this tiny little like glint or sparkle, or it almost looks like wet almost in one spot. And as you look closer, you can see that etched onto the side of the crate, one of the crates, you can see that there is a glyph. Make an Arcana check.
Before Ornan touches it, though, I will say, like, careful, there's something on the side of that crate. I got 18 Arcana.
As you're looking at it and you're trying to decipher what it means, you detect a glyph of warding, and specifically a thunderous glyph of warding. If you move that box, there will be a thunderous explosion.
All right, I will communicate that to Ornan, who's over there, and I'll say, it looks like if we touch it, it's gonna knock us back quite a bit.
Oh. Is it something you could dispel? It's magic, right?
It is magic. Can I dispel magic? I don't think I can dispel magic.
If you have the spell, dispel magic.
I don't think I do. That didn't seem a great priority. I kind of assumed I would want to use magic, so I didn't even think about dispelling it.
If we all back up, I can do this, and I'll make my mage hand the spectral, plump masculine hand with all kinds of like rings and stuff and bracelets up here. I could use this to try to push the crate, maybe trigger it while we're all at a safe distance.
It's worth a shot.
And if that doesn't work, I could throw a hammer.
Oh yeah. At the least, we can then at least kind of ensure that the trap has been set or triggered, and we don't have to hurt ourselves.
In my experience, we should need at least 15 feet.
It looks like Sylvie and Magram have moved back. The spooky lady is... she moves back towards the staircase, back with Guy. All right. Guy, you're going to try to use your mage hand, your fat, plump, masculine mage hand, your bejeweled mage hand, and try to move a crate. So, is it just mage hand?
It's just mage hand. 30 feet is the max distance, but I call it spectral hand.
Okay, the crate is definitely going to be more than the, 15 pounds or 10 pounds that it can handle.
Can I jostle it, though?
Make an Arcana check, difficulty 14.
Oh, I'm very good at Arcana. As a 2.
Here comes a hammer! Running through a hammer for a 25 to hit.
25 to hit, that beats the 14. There is suddenly, boom, this huge explosion. And Magram and Sylvie, you guys are about 5 feet beyond the radius. It is a 20-foot radius explosion.
Oh.
The crates and the spikes that have been put on the ground are just destroyed. They are gone. There's nothing left. Your ears are ringing, but now that they are no longer there, you can see down the hall. You can see that the hall extends further on about another 60 feet before it turns a corner and heads south, which would be to the left. The crates and the spikes are gone, and as you look around, the glyph of warding is also destroyed.
Has anyone seen my hammer?
Your hammer is also gone.
Oh, I think that's the shaft.
Oh.
All right, well, let's move on.
Womp, womp, womp.
Okay, what's your marching order?
I think Sylvie will kind of go towards the front since she is the bloodhound, and she will look for traps along the way.
Magram will take up the rear guard.
I'd be happy to have the traps hit me before you.
Yeah, I would be happy if the traps hit someone else before me as well.
Yeah, he can walk a little in front of me. I just want to be quite close to the front just so I can kind of scan for traps.
So I guess, yeah, the ghost lady and Guy will take the middle.
All right, you guys start moving down the hall. Sylvie, why don't you go ahead and make another investigation check as you're moving down the hall, taking point.
Oh my gosh, that is a nat 1 for an 8.
As you are moving down the hall, you don't see anything else. You can see that there are like these... it's like a half column that's built out of the wall that is holding up the roof of this hallway. The hallway has like a barrel vaulted roof. It's all made out of stone. You can see that the floor itself is like these intricately laid tiles. It looks like at some point this was very, very intricate and well made. I don't want to say palatial, but definitely this was elaborate.
More grand than the fortress above it.
Yes, this was definitely more grand than the fortress above.
Does it feel older than the fortress above?
It's hard to tell. I guess with your insight from before, I'd say, yeah, this probably predates the fortress above. It's hard to tell how much it predates.
On the far end of this room, it looks like there's a cave.
as you come around, you reach the end of that hallway. The hallway turns to the left and heads south. And after about 10 feet, it opens up again. There's another archway that opens up into this long room. For some of you, namely Magram, you cannot see the end of it. Your light does not shine nearly far enough, but you can see that this hallway enters into this large, elaborate, almost like a grand processional hall. There are these intricately laid, repeating pattern of tiles running down the center of this room. There are columns holding up the roof, and then it looks like on the side there are tumble down rocks and things. The walls look like they're still pretty much intact, but as you, I guess nobody's actually entered into the room yet. This is what you guys can see so far until somebody goes into the room.
Wait, can I make another investigation check before I step in?
Not yet.
Okay, well.
All right, here we go.
Balls deep go in, guys. Looks good to me.
All right. As you move your way into this room, you can see not only are there columns running down the center, but on the western wall, which would be to your right, you can see what looks like old windows, these stone arched windows, but on the other side of where glass would be, there's no glass. You can see there's rocks have tumbled through and it's solid stone behind. And then on the east side of the room, which would be to your left as you're moving through this room, you can see that there is an archway. It looks like it at one point opened up into another part of this complex, but it also has a cave-in and rocks have come pouring through the arches. Further down past the archway, you do see that there are a couple of like framed pictures or something on the wall. And yes, Ornan, at the far end, the south end of this room, you can see that the tile gives way. It kind of gets covered up with rocks and rubble, and there is some kind of a cave at the south end of this room. You see also that here on the south east side of this room, there is also one more arch, but again, that one has been filled up with rocks and rubble, and it looks like there's no getting through it. It's been totally blocked off.
Guy will go look at those paintings.
Yeah, for sure. But windows on the west side that are filled up with rocks, almost like this room was not always underground, and then paintings on the eastern wall. So, Guy, you go to look at the paintings.
Ornan will follow him.
Okay, sounds good. Make investigation checks.
Sylvia's standing directly on the path and not stepping on those tiles.
Maybe we should have helped each other. I got a 3.
Ornan got a 10.
All right, you can see that it looks like there's some old like parchment of some kind potentially, or like fabric, but it looks like torn and mangled. Like these paintings have not survived the test of time. This chamber down here seems to have fallen into disrepair, just with the shifting of the earth and with time and wear and tear.
Well, perhaps I can deduce a little bit more than you both could. I also got a 10. Nope. Totally normal paintings down here.
Okay.
Yeah, but you had the confidence.
You can't even really see like pictures or anything. You can just see that there's like a frame, and then there was something in the frame, like some kind of fabric or paper or something. But all that's left is like one of them, the one on the north side, the further north one, just kind of has like almost like a sheet, just kind of. It's not really blowing in the wind, but just kind of this. It's attached at the top and it's kind of hanging down. It looks like it's got some different colors in it, but you can't really see like any pattern or picture or anything like that.
Okay. So no point in grabbing these. They probably aren't worth any money.
Yes, I don't think we worry about it.
It would have been nice to see, though, because, I mean, does this look like it maybe dates to the time of the last Queen of Oclaria, or maybe as far back as Oak Road?
I mean, it's a good question. It's really difficult for me to know. I was more of an expert in different forms of art than this.
Erotic nudes.
Ah.
So, that's what you see in this long processional chamber.
It's hard to believe this whole place was once above ground, or that they would build a building with windows specifically underground.
That does seem odd. Can Sylvie make like a history check?
My house underground as a kid had windows.
Did it have windows like this that just let rocks tumble in?
Well, I mean, if there was a cave-in above us, sometimes rocks would bounce down from hundreds of feet and hit in pretty inconvenient places.
Your groin?
I had a friend who lost an eye that way.
Oh, you're right.
I'll never complain about hail again.
So Sylvie, yes, you can make a history check.
Cool. All right, that was a 19.
Nice.
You're not sure what this place necessarily was, but you do get the impression that this place is probably more on the age of like Aclaria, maybe older, like some of those ruins that you had found before, as opposed to Oak Road, which is maybe like 300 to 500 years ago. This seems older than that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I would let everybody know and say, based on the architecture, I would guess that this is even older than Oak Road, possibly the times of Oclaria.
Huh. Interesting.
Jinx!
I owe you some coke.
Ooh. Maybe when the others go to bed, we can have some of that.
Little bit of nose candy, am I right?
But then you'll be up all night.
That's true.
Yeah, so it looks like the only other way out of this room is this cave at the south end of the room.
All right, on and run lead us through this cave that's kind of your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'll head on through.
Make sure no rocks cave in on us.
I'll try to keep an eye out.
Okay, then why don't you make an investigation check as you move slowly?
Not great at this. I got an 18, though.
You got an 18. Okay.
I can see for 160 feet down here.
Yes. You can see for days. As you are moving through this cave, it starts to wind around, kind of turning left and right. It gets really narrow at points. And then right about there, Ornan, when you get to this point where it turns, you spot with your night vision the little glint of string stretched across your path. And you quickly follow with your eyes the string over to a pin and up, and you can see that there is some kind of a tripwire that has been set, and you see that there is like some kind of like netting holding up some rocks, and it looks like there is a trap to drop some rocks on somebody's head if they're not paying attention.
Oh, do I understand the mechanism of how
You do.
to...
Don't touch the string.
If I cut it, though, would it activate the trigger?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to, so like, yeah, I just
That
wanted
would
to...
probably be included in touching the string.
Sure. Okay. Cool.
What if I don't touch the string? What if I kick the string?
Is it something I can step over or just avoid?
Easy enough. You just want to point it out to everybody else. Yeah.
All right, everyone. There's a string right there. Don't touch it. Don't cut it. See the pin? Don't pull the pin.
What if I kicked it?
Well, I thought about that for a moment, and as much fun as that would be, I don't think it would be smart.
You're no fun.
That's a little bit lame.
Oh, I really want to do this. Maybe we should do it on the way out.
I'm going to, just so we don't miss it if we have to run on our way back out, I'm going to look for some loose rocks and kind of like put them on either side, like just kind of make a little marker near the string so that we know to jump over that.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. That's easy enough. There's plenty of loose rocks and stones.
We did think ahead.
Yeah. All right. You guys continue to move through the cave, stepping over the tripwire. It continues to twist and turn, and at some point you reach the end of the cave where it opens back up. You are now on the south side of another room. As you look out from this cave entrance into this next room, you can see that there are, again, columns that are holding up the roof. You can see that there are some statues. Looks like they have seen better days. One of them has fallen over. Its head has been knocked off. The other one is still standing, but pieces of it have broken from like rocks and things tumbling onto it. You can see that there are these torches that are lit, and it doesn't take long to realize they are not emitting smoke. These are some kind of magical, ever-burning torch. There are two of them, one by each of the statues. You can see that on the west wall, there is another one of these archways that has been filled in with rocks and rubble. And on the north end, there is another cave exiting this room. This chamber is probably about 30 feet by 30 feet square. Also, one last thing. Right in the center of the room, there is this plinth. There is this probably about 4 foot tall round cylinder stone plinth. And on top of that plinth, you see there is a helmet, and looks like there is a great sword sticking out of the helmet.
Like through a visor or like piercing the helmet?
Like piercing the top of the helmet.
Ooh. That's also pretty metal.
What if it's like a really cool helmet that we should put on our head?
Remember what happens when you mess with statues and their stuff?
Yeah, I don't touch magic things or anything without one of you all looking at it first.
Well, here, let me pull out my rod and we can check it. So I'm gonna whip out my toning rod.
Okay.
Ooh,
and you
whip
detect
it
magic?
out.
Yeah,
Ooh,
let's
get it. Yeah.
You detect magic on the sword, not on the helmet. Also, as you get closer, you see that inside the helmet there is a skull.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to. Let me see. With the toning rod in particular, I can't remember if it tells me.
It'll tell you what school, I do believe.
Yeah, and you learn the school of magic, if any.
I don't think this technically has a school of magic. It just is a magic item.
It's from the School of Hard Knocks.
Ooh, yeah. Huh, interesting. Well, the sword appears to be magical. There is a skull inside of here that appears to have been pierced as well in this thing.
Interesting that they would leave it pierced through it, though, if it's a magical sword.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me want to experiment with just kind of pulling it out and seeing what happens.
I think I have a really good idea of what'll happen, guys.
Why don't you check it out, Bloodhound?
No, I don't want to check it out. I have a good idea of what'll happen.
Well, okay, then tell us. Share.
I will go over though, and I will do I guess you guys kind of already did an Arcana check, huh? So
I'm thinking like the plinth might be booby-trapped or something.
So they detected magic, and they only detected magic on the sword.
can I use Arcana to kind of get a vibe on what exactly it is and
Yeah.
what? Okay,
Sure thing. You can do Arcana, or you can do History, or you can do whatever.
I think it's all about the same. So let's get a 15 on Arcana.
With the 15 Arcana, as you're looking at this, you don't feel the same vibe as you did in those Oclarian ruins. These statues, for one thing, have taken a beating. They are not nearly as structurally sound as the statues were in the roadside ruins, and it looks like this is less of like a trap and more of like the sword and helmet and skull are a trophy. Would be the best way to describe this setup.
Okay.
Like, the point of the room is the sword, helmet, and skull.
Does the helmet look like it at one point would have been like regal or very utilitarian? Like, is this sword piercing through the head of a king, for example?
Why don't you make a history check, and Guy make it with advantage?
Ooh, natural 19 for a 19.
The helmet is old, but it is definitely elvish. And as you look at the skull is more narrow features and looks to be an elvish skull.
Okay, all right. This looks to be. You said Sylvie that it looks like more like a trophy. This is a shrine to the defeat of some elf or elf nation. This is an elven helmet, and this is an elvish skull. I just realized I said elven and elvish in the same sentence, which is the official adjective.
I change him. I go back and forth.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there an official?
I mean, in Lord of the Rings, it's elvish, and then usually in D&D, it's elven. But I kind of like elvish, personally. Makes me feel like Frodo.
Yeah, well, so this is the helmet and the skull are both elvenish.
Oh, I like this.
That was great.
So, yes. Margrim, you said you wanted to take the sword.
I think we take the sword.
Let me back up a little bit and take the sword.
Yeah, Sylvie will say, it seemed like things were going to be fine, but I'm just going to stand way over here.
Oh, hey everyone, let's take 10 minutes. I just remembered that I have the spell Identify.
I was gonna say that you said it in an earlier episode that was one of the first spells that you copied into your spell, or that you found in your spell book, yeah, Okay, and you guys are so worried now about cursed items.
Yeah, let me take some time here, and I like pull out my chalk, and I pull out the chicken bones, and I pull out all these little trinkets and things, and start setting up for a ritual. And I also say, hey Sylvie, I remember we were sharing spells back and forth. If you ever want to get this one down in your book as well, you could always borrow my book sometime, or you could probably even learn the spell to summon Prancival.
Is that like airdropping spells?
You just send them to random people at the airport.
If you hold your wands together for a moment, they'll vibrate.
Oh my gosh.
It would be an honor to hold Prancival's whistle.
Yeah, so I'll take 10 minutes to do identify.
All right, so for 10 minutes, what's everybody else going to do?
Watch.
Okay. As you guys sit there and you watch, there is a cave leading out of this room to the north, but I don't think anybody wants to venture off alone without Guy, which makes sense. You spend 10 minutes, and
I do have to touch the sword the entire time, too.
That's fine. You touch it. As you touch it, you do get this slightly sick feeling from touching it, but it's not like hurting you. And after 10 minutes of doing the identify spell, you realize that this sword is, while not technically cursed, it would not be good for you, Guy. This sword is the Elfsbane.
Oof.
As you look at this sword, you see carvings of decapitated elves along the blade. It's a +1 greatsword. And anytime an elf or a half-elf or anyone with elvish ancestry like an Eladrin or a drow is hit with this greatsword, they take an extra 2d6 slashing damage. And then also if the elf or half-elf is grappling a creature, then the elf or half-elf must succeed on a DC 15 strength save, or they will end up releasing the creature it's grappling. So if there's an elf that gets hit by the sword and they're in the middle of grappling somebody, there's a chance that they will just lose the grapple. An elf or a half-elf that touches the Elfsbane gains 1 point of exhaustion for every minute that they carry the weapon. So you did not get the exhaustion just by touching it. But if you are going to carry it, it will exhaust you. In addition, any elf or half-elf or anyone with elf's blood that attempts to use the Elfsbane does so with disadvantage.
So this sword absolutely sucks. We should just leave it here.
I literally tried telling you that 15 minutes ago, but okay, cool. Now that Guy's decided something, I guess we can move on.
This sword was specifically made magically to kill my people. And even touching it has given me a bad case of diarrhea.
Is it? Oh, you poor thing. Well, is it possible that hear me out? Perhaps we could just leave it down here, but here we are stumbling upon it. Who's to say that others possibly could not similarly find it later on down the road? Would it not behoove us perhaps to take it and then make sure that it gets put in some vault or locked away someplace where it could not be utilized for evil?
We could do that, but I just can't help but get the impression looking at this sword that this is what kills me.
Oh,
well,
that's a rather dark, unsavory thought.
I mean, imagine somebody made a gun with bullets that only hurt people named Jordan.
I mean, that seems fine. I don't know.
That's a random name.
Honestly, it doesn't sound too bad.
Kind of a stupid name, if you ask me.
Who's a Jordan? What's a Jordan?
Jordan.
Okay, we can take it, but I can't touch it. I can't. It will.
I'll put it in the backpack.
Yeah, it'll sap my energy until it kills me.
You've had instances of bad run-ins with swords lately, Ornan. Perhaps I could carry it for us.
It is 100% not cursed, though.
That's exactly what a cursed item would say.
That is what that would say.
You also know that this area of Via Severia has had a war, like ongoing tumultuous relationship with the Elvish nation to the north.
Yeah, I imagine this is like Glamdring or Sting or something, but instead of fighting against goblins, it's one of the goblins' weapons that was forged against the elves.
I've I've got an inkling of something, and I've been thinking about it for a while. I wonder if this Meegan, who herself is an elf, didn't start this whole group out of some ancient animosity towards the people here.
It honestly had crossed my mind as well. Perhaps, if you wanted to destabilize an area, then coming in and starting an insurgency or something like that, unrest, social and civil unrest in the area would be exactly what you would want to do to weaken your enemy.
Yeah, I say we press on. I have a sinking feeling we're going to either find this Meegan or find a hiding place for her. Whether she's there or not, but I don't know, we'll see. Should we press on?
Down the tunnel of doom.
I am going to take the sword, and I'm going to put it in my pack.
Okay. All right, very good.
What was it called? Is it something I can find?
It's called Elfsbane, yeah. And you should be able to find it in D&D Beyond. As you guys are moving through this next section of cave, it's quite narrow. Again, it does some twisting and some turning. Who is leading the way?
I'll lead the way again.
Yeah, Ornan's leaving. I'll just be right behind him.
Then yeah, Ornan, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Ooh, I'm not good at this. Hey, but I got a 17.
Oh, nice. My goodness. Okay, yeah, keep moving on through the cave, and I'll tell you when to stop. As you are moving through the cave, something about this just seems kind of like home. You're moving along rock walls. Why don't you go ahead and stop right there, Ornan? As you are moving through, it takes a left, it takes a right, it takes another left, it winds around down here, and then you come to a point where the cave veers off to the east, it turns to the right, and you can see that the cave starts to kind of give way to, again, like dressed stone. You can see that there is an archway that leads into another large room off to the right, which would be off to the east. And as you're kind of getting ready to turn the corner and head that way, you glance to your left, which is that kind of the northern wall, and something about it just doesn't seem quite right. And the more you look at it, the more you can't help but think, this wall is wrong. And you walk up and you put your hand against the wall, and your hand goes through.
All right, guys, I know rocks pretty damn well, and those don't look right. Those rocks are from another layer deeper than should be this far down.
Also, I don't think your hand should go through them like that.
Oh,
did you lose your other hand?
No, that's why I put my hand through. I was trying to explain that the rocks change color the deeper down you go.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me.
All right. Ornan, you push through this illusory wall, and behind it is not this large chamber. It's relatively small. It's like a 15 feet by 15 foot kind of rounded square room, but tucked around a corner you see that there is this chest that has been stowed back here, probably hidden, and that is all there is behind this illusory wall, this small chamber and this room.
Look what we found.
Look, a small room.
Oh boy.
What do we do with it?
That chest looks to be about, 3 or 4 bread baskets.
Actually, it is gift basket size as well.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I said
Bread basket.
Bread
Well,
basket.
bread baskets are a little smaller than gift baskets, so you're right about there. It's right, yeah.
It's like a teaspoon versus a tablespoon.
Yeah,
I think we need an official chart of basket sizes. So that
Laundry
we can all
basket,
be clear.
gift basket, bread basket, Easter basket, tisket-a-tasket,
Whisker basket.
whisker basket.
Wicker basket.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's
whisker basket.
all right. Okay, yeah, so you see this chest.
Does it look to be trapped or locked?
Why don't you guys make somebody make an investigation check? You guys can do it with one of you can do it with advantage if you want to do that.
I can investigate. The Bloodhound's pretty good at that.
Okay, I'll help you though.
All right, well, I got 2 19s for 26.
Nice.
as you're looking, it looks like this chest is not trapped in any way. You also don't detect any like magical sigils or anything on it. It looks like you get the impression that the illusory wall was the only defense against this chest actually being discovered, but it is locked.
All right, well, I'm not sure this is exactly... This seems a little too easy. This doesn't seem to be anything special, but it is locked, so somebody want to sleight of hand it?
Let me give that. Hey,
I can't imagine who picks locks around here. Anybody?
Gordon still has the key to the city.
I do have a key that seems to open everything.
Gordon, you're so good at picking locks. Why don't you do this,
let
dude?
Let me do it. I want to prove my worth to you all.
Oh, Guy, you have lots of worth.
I didn't even know you
I don't
picked
care
locks.
what any of them say about you. You have lots of worth.
I just shoulder past both of them, kind of push them behind me. And
I complimented your singing earlier today.
I got a 21 on my lockpick.
Okay, as you start working on the lock, it does click and spring open. By one, you made it by one.
See, I'm very good at this.
We're so proud.
As the chest, as the lock comes open, you push the lid up and you look inside and you see two things. One, you see a pouch. The pouch looks to be quite full of coins, and as you open it up, you see that there's gold in this pouch. It looks like there's 250 gold pieces in this pouch. The other thing that you see is you see that there is what looks like a pendant, and it looks like it's a thin silver chain that wraps around, and then the actual pendant part of it, I guess pendant is the wrong word. The chain wraps around to either side of what looks like a black, like a masquerade mask. Definitely smaller, not big enough to go over your eyes. It's like a stylized masquerade mask. So it looks like some sort of an amulet that you can wear, that the actual jewelry part is this black masquerade mask.
So there's a masquerade mask necklace. It looks like it would only like fit on your nose, or as like an eye patch. But if we want to take 10 minutes, I can see what it is now, or I could just pocket it for later.
I guess we might have a little bit of time.
While he's doing that, I think Sylvia would kind of want to walk along the edge of like the walls and see if there's anything that we missed, because I feel like there's something more to this place.
Got it.
Sylvie's gonna start tapping the walls, Pine style, trying to find the missing brick to try to figure out what they missed, because she knows we missed something.
Oh, that was from that play.
I know, I thought it was such a good idea.
Why didn't you make an investigation check?
Can I make it with advantage?
Nope.
Oh, well, it's a nat 20, so.
You start tapping on the walls, and even with a nat 20, I will tell you that you are convinced now there is nothing more to this chamber.
Oh, you're just the worst.
You are I'm not the worst. Ornan discovered the illusory wall with his terrible investigation skill that still got a 17. Was able to see through the illusory wall
because of the strata.
And the lock had a difficulty of 20 that you managed to spring open.
So do you want me to take some time now, or should we just bring it with us upstairs?
Let's bring it with us. We've been down here for a while now, so let's be on our way.
I'll put it in my pocket.
You also have Alexandrina's spellbook to look through too. You haven't done that yet to see which spells are still legible.
Ooh.
All right, let's press on to this chamber.
As you move out of this cave and into the more dressed stone area, you see that you have entered into a very large room. Not so much east to west. You were entering kind of on the northwest side of this room.
She was so good as Simba.
It's 40 feet across is all, from east to west. But north to south, it is quite a bit longer, 120, 140 feet, something like that. But the room needs some description. Where you are standing here, this northern, I'm gonna say that this room is split into basically thirds. You are at the top third of this room. You can see that there are columns that are holding up the roof. You can see some intricate tile work. You see on the north wall, there is a relief sculpture built into the wall, and it is this feminine face. And in front of this wall, there are these candles that are lit. And you can see that these candles are lit with this non-smoking flame, and these are like ever-burning candles. You also see there's a couple of different kind of wall hangings next to this statue face. So when I say statue, it's actually just a face, and it's a relief sculpture out of the wall.
It's like Mount Rushmore kind of vibes.
Kind of, yeah. But although even more shallow than Mount Rushmore.
So not an oat relief, a bas relief.
A
More
bas relief,
shallow than a bunch of white men carving their faces into like a native mountainside? That's wild.
Seems pretty shallow.
So that is this northern third. The central third, what looks like the floor has fallen away. It's caved in. And it's actually, as you look over the edge, it looks like it is probably about a 15 or 20 foot drop down to the ground. It is rough stone. You can see that in the center of this middle section, there is this large, it's not a stalagmite, it's a straight up column of stone that goes from floor all the way to the ceiling. You can see also that built around this column of stone, there is platforms. It looks like there's like some stairs going up, and there's like some scaffolding built around this central column of stone that is holding up the roof. And at the very top of the scaffolding, you see a ladder that goes up to the roof. And if you squint, you can see that the ladder actually goes into a small like hole, a cave in the ceiling of this central chamber.
Into the ceiling, not to the column.
Not of the column, no, it's along the column, and it goes up into the ceiling. So the ladder actually goes up out of view. And you can see also that there is a dead, unlit campfire down here as well in the central part of this chamber. And then the southern third, it looks like the southern third is at the same height as this northern third. So it's like the central part of this room just fell away or like caved in and fell down about 20 feet. But then the north and the south are still the dressed stone columns holding up the roof. And you can see something at the very far end just giving off just this little bit of light. There is this soft glow at the south end of the room. It also looks like from where you're at here at the north section, there is a rough staircase going down into the central chamber, and then there is a rough staircase on the far end going back up to the southern part of this chamber. So there's a lot of things to explore and investigate, so let me know what you guys want to do.
I mean, I really want to start climbing that ladder up to the ceiling, TBH, but...
Well, I'll spot you. I'll stay at the base of the ladder and keep it steady.
I want to appreciate the sculpture.
Yeah, I want to kind of investigate that too.
Nerds.
I'll give you the help action.
Oh.
All right, you can make investigation check, or maybe I'll say you can make a religion check or a history check as well. Any of those will work.
Ooh, let's see. What do I have that's the best? Actually, they're all the same. History, investigation, or religion.
Mine too. They're all zeros.
Let's do history.
Okay.
And I got a nat 20 for 25.
Woohoo!
Okay. With history, as you are looking at this statue, you get the distinct impression this is definitely stylized. This is not an actual depiction of what somebody looked like. The cheeks are too smooth. The face is too symmetrical.
Smooth cheeks.
Love it.
Like a butt.
As you are looking at this figure with your natural 20 history, you see that the figure is feminine, but almost like
androgynous.
Yeah, but as you were looking at it with your natural 20, something about the way that it's laid out, that with these candles, it's obviously worship. And the more you look at it, the more you recognize that this is probably a depiction of Timora, who is the goddess of good luck.
Ah, interesting. I'll relay that to everybody.
Goddess of good luck. Oh. I'll put a gold coin there on her altar.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, right in front of right amongst the candles. All right, so Magram and Guy, you guys are up still in the north section as Sylvie and Ornan climb down into the central chamber. What are you guys going to do? You guys going to start climbing the scaffolding? Is that what you're going to do?
I mean, I wouldn't mind giving it a good old once-over to make sure it's relatively stable, or to see if somebody's been on it recently.
Okay. Why don't you make an investigation check? And you can do it with advantage as Ornan is helping.
Yeah, give it a good kick and you'll see if it's sturdy.
That's exactly what I was thinking. If somebody's up there and it tumbles down, that's not my problem. That's a 20 with advantage.
With a 20 for your investigation, I will say, as you start to walk onto the scaffolding, trying to decide how recently somebody may have been using this, it looks like the scaffolding is relatively new. So maybe just, a few years, maybe 10 years tops. Not nearly as old as the rest of the stuff down here. And as you are moving past the burnt up fire pit, you can see that some of the ashes, they're definitely cold, but it doesn't have that like moldy old look of like a really, really old campfire. It looks like it's been used within the last week. And as you, with your 20 investigation, you do see amongst the ashes as you walk by a small scrap of paper.
I will wait in the fireplace, like
in the campfire. Yeah,
campfire. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sylvie will kind of approach that campfire then and see if she can't retrieve that paper and figure out what it says.
Yeah, sure. Easy enough. You pick up the piece of paper and you start looking through it. It's just a scrap of paper. It looks like it's been burned. Only parts of it are legible and not a whole big part of like one line. It's almost like you're getting just an edge or like the center. So you're getting like 3 lines that are stacked on top of each other. And so what you can read is it looks like the top says ADIN, and there's a space, and then CAP. And it's burned right up to the edge on both sides. Okay? ADIN space CAP.
And that's like written across, or like you said, stacked?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then the line below it, which you're missing the first half and the last half, that one says SEMANT, all one word, space SANCT.
Like sanctum.
And then the line underneath that is the longest line that you can read, and it says LY space, and then you can read these next words. 1, so use it, and then WIS, and then it's burned off.
Use it without wisdom, probably?
Use it, WIS.
Without wisdom.
Probably says Wazowski.
ADIN space CAP, and then SEMANT space SAN or SANCT, and then LY 1, so use it, WIS.
I'm thinking it says only 1, so use it wisely, but I'm on the map in the wiki looking for any like landmarks that have some of those letters.
All right, so it's sanctum. It's some. So you only 1, so you use it wisely. And caps.
You get the distinct impression that you're missing the vast majority of whatever this was, and it was burned.
I'm gonna keep on heading up the stairs then.
So, Ornan and Sylvie, you guys start moving up the scaffolding, and as you come around the scaffolding, which moves around this central pillar, you do see that there is a chest on this scaffolding. It looks like a smaller sized chest, maybe built for traveling, not like a treasure chest of any kind.
3/4 gift basket.
Ooh,
yes.
My backpack is gobbling it up. We can open you later.
Yeah, I think I want to focus on going up right now.
All right, so are you taking the backpack, or taking the chest and putting it in your backpack?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. You've got this chest.
Just pack bandit.
Okay, so Ornan, you take this chest and you put it in your pack. Guy and Magram, what are you guys doing along with the spooky lady?
What'd you say, Paul? Sorry. I was busy being hilarious.
Guy and Magram and spooky lady, what are you guys doing?
I mean, I guess at this point, I would head down into the central area.
I'm gonna head down that way too. Watch these adorable gnomes.
Careful, Sylvie, don't fall.
As you guys start watching Sylvie, you start to climb up this ladder. It is, it's secured to the stone with like pythons or pitons or whatever you call them. And so it is relatively sturdy. And as you climb the ladder, you see it extends up into this hole in the ceiling. It looks like it goes quite a ways up. With your vision, once you get actually into the hole in the ceiling, then you can almost see the end of the ladder, but it's quite a ways up there. As you continue to climb, you get to the top, and there is a trap door that is at the very top.
Anybody else getting Minecraft vibes where you go explore a mine and you're like, I'm tired of this, and you just dig straight up to get out?
There's a trap door at the top.
I'm going to push on it.
Okay, why don't you make a strength check?
Better a strength check than a dexterity saving throw.
All right, well, I'm not very strong, so let's try it. Okay. Oh gosh, that was a nat 20 for a 19.
As you push on it, you feel resistance, and you feel like the door is quite heavy, but you manage to find a place where you can kind of lever it over, and as it opens up, rain starts pouring down in on top of you, and you realize there's like bushes around you. This is a trap door that leads out into the forest. Like, this is a secret entrance into this chamber.
Oh.
I just need to say, we've been rolling so well.
You guys have been getting really good rolls.
It's been really good.
Yeah. All right, so Sylvia, as you discover a way out of this chamber and up back to the world above, Meegan, it looks like you have moved into the last section, the southern section of this room. It looks like this chamber, you can see on the walls here, against the wall, some like destroyed, broken, mildewy, and falling apart benches, and you see that there are some candelabra that have been knocked over, some broken vases and things, but you can see that in the center of this section there is this it's like an altar, and on the altar has a cup, like a large, almost like a trophy cup, and there is this ball of blue pulsing energy that fits perfectly on the top of the cup. So there's like this half dome of energy that is giving off this very, very faint light coming off that cup.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Looks like some sort of magical barrier.
I will pull out the toning rod again and try to see what I can detect.
As you pull out the tuning rod, you detect that this barrier is both physical and magical. So, like, it will repel magic as well as you can't reach through it. You don't think that it is a barrier that will actually hurt you. It is just like feeling like touching a wall. As you get close, though, and you can kind of look into it, you see that in the center there is basically like a perfect skipping rock with a glyph carved onto the top of it.
We need it.
Do I recognize this glyph? Can I do an Arcana check?
You can do an Arcana check, yes.
Got an 18.
I'd say with an 18, because this was all probably one room at some point, you gather that this must have something to do with Tymora, the lady or the goddess of good luck. And as you're looking at it, your brain goes, Stone of Good Luck? Which you've heard about, you've read about, and you think that might be what you're looking at.
Huh.
You can't be sure, though.
Oh, man.
Got it. Okay. And there is a barrier on top of this thing.
Yes.
When I was detecting magic, did I get the sense that would be like, well, you said it would prevent me from being able to grab it.
Correct. You physically cannot grab it. You do, however, with your Arcana check, you do think that you could possibly dispel this effect.
Okay. The only problem is I don't have any level 3 spell slots left.
Oh.
Okay. I mean, I'll relay this to Guy since he's up here with me and just be like, it looks like it is the Stone of Good Luck from Lady Tymora.
Oh. Well, since I gave her some money, like worshipped her, maybe I can just reach in and grab it. Guy will try to reach in and grab the Stone of Good Luck.
You know when like you go to catch a basketball and you jam your thumb? You totally jam your thumb on this thing.
I meant he did it with as much confidence as he does picking locks.
100%. 100% you did.
It's impossible to get that. I've tried like one thing and I'm completely out of ideas.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I wish I had a better alternative, but I'd need to sleep down here, which doesn't feel like a great idea. Also, I thought we were going to see ghosts and things, but...
Yeah, I think that the idea of it being haunted is, again, just a story. Look, we found a campsite down here, and when Sylvie opened that door, it started raining on us. I think this is just to give Meegan a way in and out of camp.
I think you might be right about that.
I wonder where that door comes out, and I wonder if there'd be a clear path to follow to see maybe where Meegan has gone. My assumptions are she's traveled back to some outpost for the elven nation to the north.
Yeah, I mean, that is what I think as well. But if she is rendezvousing or has contacts with other people, perhaps, if it is, for example, a cell of elvish insurgents or something that are operating within the area, then maybe her ability to rendezvous is expedited. She meets with them because they're close by. It's a thought. I have nothing to base that on.
Ooh, I just had the thought that maybe this is actually where a cell of insurgents stays. There's that campfire. We should look around to see if we can see how much excrement, how much waste is down here, to see if we can get an accurate count of how many people have been staying down here. Quick, everyone, look for piles of poo.
I love this idea.
Make a survival checks.
I'll help you. Looking for poo.
Oh my gosh.
I got a 25 and a 26, so
Nice.
I am really excited about this prospect.
As you start looking around, you can see that there is actually probably, just there's one little corner, and it looks like probably just one person.
How much fiber is this person getting?
Oh my gosh.
And what does elf poo look like?
Like deer pellets, very small. Very, very small.
And that lembas bread, you take such small bites. I can't imagine you'd have much poo after that.
They have very dainty poos. It's adorable.
So, I have a question. This cup with the magic on it.
Yes, the cup is built. It's just a cup shaped. It's altered. It's stuck to the ground. It's like actually.
It's
Yeah,
a Tri-Wizard tournament.
That was my question. I was wondering if we just take the cup, even with the magic barrier, and just like carry the cup around. But okay,
no, it is attached to the ground.
Well, we're going to be staying the night at the little keep up there, so maybe we can come back if you've prepared something to take care of that in the morning.
And we won't even have to walk the whole way back. Well, I mean, we will, but we can at least go over ground.
Okay, yeah, this is fine.
So shall we head back up this ladder and see where we pop out?
I'm going to go back through the other way. I have a feeling about those paintings that we saw. I kind of want to take them off the wall and see if there's something behind them.
Ooh, I love that idea. Why don't we split the party? I'll go with Ornan.
All right, yeah. Sylvie wants to kind of explore the woods and see if she can find a trail that Meegan went on.
Okay.
Very well. I'll go with Sylvie.
Guy will leave with Ornan holding his hand and look back over his shoulder at Magram with like a jealous
I'm
look.
seething with jealousy. Seething.
All right, so we are splitting the party.
Come on, Margaret, let's go.
Okay.
We have Sylvie and Magram heading up the ladder, out into the rain and the dark and the forest as Ornan and Guy move their way back through the caves towards that first long ceremonial chamber with the paintings.
Guy, we both talked about kicking this wire and the pin. Should we do it and run?
Or, yeah, kicking does sound like so much fun. I don't know why. Gosh.
Oh my gosh. Who's gonna kick it?
No, we best not. We
right
best
after
not.
splitting the party too, so there's no way we can come save you when you take the off the walls.
You said that it's holding rocks up above us, right? Who's to say that that's not enough to block off this whole passage?
Oh, you make a good point. Fine, I won't kick it. Just kick this rock over here.
That was a really good rock kick,
The
Ornan.
whole cave just comes tumbling down.
All right. So as Ornan and Guy head back towards the paintings, Magam and Sylvia, you guys climb this ladder. When you guys get out there, you're looking around. One of you can either make a straight roll, or you can both make it with disadvantage. It is so dark and raining, pouring down rain. Just try to figure out not only where you are, but also if you can find a path to where potentially Meegan may have gone. Survival or investigation.
Got it. Well, I mean, I feel like on the scale of 1 to 10, I'm like about a 7 on my survival.
Okay, that might be more useful because I'm a 0 on my survival, but like a 7 on my investigation. But I think survival would be more handy. I want to know where this bitch went.
Okie dokie. Let's give it a shot.
But don't you think you're going to take my Bloodhound title?
I got a 17 on survival.
With a 17, first off, you look, kind of look around, gauge where you're at, and you look to the north, and through some of the trees, you can see that you're actually not that far from the fort. You're just a little bit south of the fort. And when you think about it, you're actually not very far from where Guy had set up his turtle shell tiny hut. So you think that from here, it'd be probably about a 5 or 6 minute walk to the fort. But more importantly, as you look around trying to figure out if there's a way that Meegan may have gone, you see not necessarily like her footprints or anything, but from where you're standing, there is really only one clear or easy path to take. And that path heads south and kind of south by southwest, which you know would be back in the direction of Martin's Rest. But who's to say where that trail goes once you start taking it?
Interesting. Okay. I'll relay that to Sylvie, of course.
Perfect. And Ornan and Guy, you guys are down in the old ancient temple to Tymora, it looks like. Or at least part of this was an area dedicated to Tymora. You don't think that necessarily Tymora was dedicated to the death of elves. But as you head back to this large chamber, the one that had windows on one side that had been all filled up with rocks, and the two paintings or portraits or frames on the wall. What are you guys going to do?
On the count of 3, we both take the paintings off, or cut through them if you want.
All right. Are we counting up or are we counting down?
Let's start with 2, and then we'll go 2, 3, 1, go.
Are you cutting them or are you pulling them off?
Ornan's gonna pull it off.
Oh my gosh. He's pulling off the paintings.
and Guy is going to try to, if the painting doesn't come off, he'll just take out the fan and cut it.
All right, you 2, 3, 1, go. And as you pull, Guy, you grab onto the frame and you start to pull, and it just crumbles in your hands. Ornan, as you grab the frame and start to pull, the frame itself crumbles, but the fabric that was in there falls out of the frame, and you recognize this was not actually a painting. This was more like a display, and in your hand you are holding some sort of old ancient banner, like a war banner, like something that would be held aloft at the front of an army.
Oh, I've got a banner. Do you recognize this one?
Let me take a look. You want me to do a history with advantage if you want to help me?
Yeah, we touch foreheads, remember?
That's right.
It's so intimate. I love
Aww.
I can see why, Jordan, I can see why you enjoy that so much. It feels really good to like hold hands and touch foreheads.
Oh my god. He's just a really affectionate guy, I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad we had this time together, Ornan.
Oh my gosh.
Me
You guys
too.
are
It's nice to have the one-on-one.
I got a 19 history, if that helps, Paul.
As you look at this looks like an ancient banner. You don't recognize any of like the sigils or anything on it. In fact, as you're looking at it, it looks sort of basic. Not basic like it's not intricate. It has like golden thread around the edges and everything. It looks like it's still in relatively good shape. Actually, it looks like it's in very good shape for the age that it is, but it doesn't look like it's dedicated to any specific like nation or people or religion. It looks like more of a generic banner, but it's a generic banner that has withstood the test of time quite well.
Nice. I don't know where it's from, Ornan, but it's still so intact. There's got to be something behind it. Bring it along. I'll take a look at it when I look at this theater mask eye patch.
All right. Ornan opens up the backpack and goes, and puts it in.
Okay, Guy and Ornan, you guys with the spectral woman, you make your way out of these chambers and back up into the courtyard of the bandit fortress. As Sylvie and Magram, you realize it's too late to try to follow this trail. It's too dark. It's too rainy. You figure you would probably get lost at this point if you tried to follow this trail, and you make your way back to the fortress as you reconvene with all of the things that you gathered down below, which includes a banner. It includes a great sword for killing elves. There is a sack of gold. There is an amulet that is like a masquerade mask. There is a scrap of burned paper, and there is a chest that you got off of the scaffolding in that last chamber. That is where we are going to stop for tonight.
I know what I'm doing tonight. Casting Identify multiple times.
Nice. All right, you guys. Well, hey, thanks for playing. That was kind of fun, exploring the spooky haunted. Wait, those weren't haunted. That's
I feel like I've been cheated.
Hey, Paul, you've been lying to us this whole session. You also said your intro was going to be really bad.
It was so
fantastic.
Bad. It was so bad. It was.
We keep saying there were no ghosts, but there was one ghost.
The whole
It's
time.
true. Dude, she was following us around. It was crazy.
Yeah. When you guys were going to kick the tripwire, I was like, you guys, that's 48 of bludgeoning damage. and the glyph of warding was 5d8 thunder.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So anyway, you guys have some things, I'll send you guys a copy of what that scrap of paper actually has, so you guys can kind of see it, kind of visualize it a little bit better. And
we'll also post it in the spoilers once this episode goes live.
Yeah, perfect. All right, you guys. Hey, don't forget we have a Patreon. You can listen to your neighbor's potatoes. You can also check out this map and see how beautiful it is. I spent so much time on it. I love it. I think it turned out really, really good. And you get character sheets, and eventually, here in the near future, you might get a new level 7 character sheet from our players. Anyway,
gasp!
Like when we wake up from a long rest?
You haven't taken your long rest yet. Anyway,
the tiredest I've ever been.
Until we get together next time, we hope you have a great time.